After beating the bee demons and saving the bull demons, Sanzang and his disciples kept on going to the west to take back the Holy Lotus to where it belonged. They traveled for a long time and eventually got to a place known as the Land of Earth Cracks. Right when they were going to cross it, a bunch of scary monsters came out and tried to attack them. Sanzang and his disciples could handle the monsters at first, but as more and more came, things got tougher. They fought hard together against the monsters, and even Oh Shui, who was secretly ordered by Najia to steal the sacred lotus, helped out. After getting rid of the monsters, they finally reached a safer spot, but Shu Wujing warned Xiao Yu to be careful because they were on the edge of a big deep pit. Falling in there would be really bad, so they had to watch their steps. Shu Wujing told Xiao Yu that he had been through this area before back when he was with Sun Wukong and the others on a mission to get the sacred lotus, so he knew about the big gap in the ground. Even though Sun Wukong wasn't with them right now, Shu Wujing and the others believed that he'd show up eventually to help finish the mission. Up in the Heavenly Kingdom, when the huge bell in the Heavenly Palace rang 12 times, Sha Xin thought it was a sign that the amazing Monkey King, Sun Wukong, was coming back to life. Erlong didn't seem so sure about that idea. He thought that anyone he had killed shouldn't be able to come back. But if Sun Wukong really did come back, Erlong said he wouldn't hesitate to fight him again. Meanwhile, on a mountain, there was an eagle that was actually Rulai in disguise. He was running away from the soldiers the Jade Emperor had sent to catch him. They were chasing after him, trying to stop him. Just like Sha Xin and Erlong, even Rulai figured out that a really strong power had just shown up in the world. Rulai used his own power to make a gadget that could tell where this strong power was coming from. And he found out that the strong power was coming from a mountain named Huago, which was about 300 miles away from where he was. Once Rulai knew where this big power was coming from, he hurried over to Huago Mountain. He wanted to see if Sun Wukong had really come back to life. The story takes us to Huago Mountain, and things are way different than before Sun Wukong left. This mountain used to be all beautiful, like paradise, with waterfalls and clear rivers. But now it's turned into a scary place with super hot, melted lava everywhere. Even though Huago Mountain has turned into a pretty wild place, most of the demon apes decided to stick around. They didn't go look for some other safer spot to live in, even though they totally could have. There was a bunch of ape demons going after other ape demons who didn't want anything to do with the dark power. One of those ape demons was even okay with getting a bad beating instead of giving in to the darkness that was spreading everywhere. After Sun Wukong left Huago Mountain, those ape demons lost their big leader who used to bring them all together, so they ended up going their own ways. Things got pretty unsure after Sun Wukong left, but then the ape demon named Bairon saw a chance to take charge of Huago Mountain and be the leader. Unlike Sun Wukong, Bairon wanted his ape demon buddies to eat people so they could get that dark power. But some of the ape demons didn't like that idea. They were still loyal to Sun Wukong and remembered what he said about not eating people. Bairon got really frustrated with those ape demons who didn't listen, so he told his pals to catch a human kid and make the followers of Sun Wukong watch while they ate the kid. Bairon gave the order, and one of Sun Wukong's followers didn't really want to, but he walked up to the human kid. He didn't have the guts to hurt or kill the boy because he was sticking to what Sun Wukong said. Instead of attacking the boy, he went after one of Bairon's buddies. When Bairon saw that, he got super mad. He went over and totally beat up the ape demon who didn't listen. Bairon said that Sun Wukong's rules didn't matter anymore on Huago Mountain. He thought he was the new Monkey King, so he could make new rules and tell everyone what to do. Even though the ape demon got beat up and Bairon even threatened to kill him, he didn't back down. He told Bairon that the only Monkey King who could rule Huago Mountain was Sun Wukong. Bairon was about to finish him off, but then there was a big lightning flash in the sky, and the ground shook like there was an earthquake. It was like something was trying to come out from deep inside the earth. Right after that, a big rock came up from a volcano crater. Bairon told one of his buddies to check out the rock. The monkey demon who was picked to check out the rock went down into the volcano and tapped the rock with his stick. He knocked a few times, but nothing happened. He thought it was just a normal rock and went back to tell Bairon. Out of nowhere, a hand popped out of the rock and smacked the monkey demon, sending him flying. Then the rock blew up, and out came a young Sun Wukong. But he didn't remember much from his past life. All he could recall was running around on a bridge. At the same time, a bunch of shining golden balls popped out of the ground. These balls showed different parts of Sun Wukong's old memories. They started with him meeting Su Yi, then fighting with Erlong and the Heavenly Soldiers, chatting with Rulai, going on the journey with Sanzang and his disciples, trying to protect the Sacred Lotus, getting beat by Erlong, meeting Bai Long when he got sealed up, and finally reaching the underworld. He met Yume there, and she took him to the Forgotten Bridge so he could be born again. After Sun Wukong soaked in all those memories, finally recalling everything he went through in his previous life, Byron finally realized that the young monkey demon was actually Sun Wukong, and he told his buddies to grab him. But even though Sun Wukong was reborn as a kid, he was still super powerful. He didn't have any trouble beating up Byron's followers. Seeing that, Byron got even more sure that the kid in front of him was Sun Wukong. But he wasn't scared to face the strongest monkey king of Huago Mountain. Byron thought he had gotten stronger since the last time he met Sun Wukong. But Sun Wukong was way too powerful. He easily beat Byron, showing that Byron didn't stand a chance against Sun Wukong's strength, which was like even as strong as the gods in the Heavenly Kingdom. After getting beaten, Byron talked to Sun Wukong about their history. Byron used to be a young monkey who really looked up to Sun Wukong. But then Sun Wukong left Huago Mountain and never came back. Byron and the other monkeys were on their own, fighting super hard to stay alive. Byron trained for years, getting stronger and stronger, hoping to be worthy of taking Sun Wukong's place as the Monkey King. But Byron never thought Sun Wukong would come back and mess things up. He felt like all his work was wasted. So Byron challenged Sun Wukong to a fight to prove he deserved his spot. But Sun Wukong didn't even pay attention to Byron's talk. He turned into a giant ape and gave Byron a good thrashing. Sun Wukong told Byron that the ape demons in Huago Mountain never had any enemies. So even though Sun Wukong had been away from Huago Mountain for a while, the other ape demons there were still living happily and safely. But Byron messed things up. He got drawn in by this dark power that was only gonna cause trouble for everyone. When Byron was told that, he didn't even try to deny it. He wanted that crazy power, and the only fast way was to give in to the darkness. To get that dark power, Byron started attacking humans and eating them every day. He did this so he could be as strong as Sun Wukong and take his place as the Monkey King of Huago Mountain. After he explained all this, Byron got up and tried to attack Sun Wukong. But Sun Wukong beat him to it and said that Byron had gone too far into the darkness. Sun Wukong was super mad and told Byron that there was no excuse for what he did. Sun Wukong didn't hold back. He scolded the other ape demons for not being able to take care of Huago Mountain. Their home had turned into a real nightmare. Then Rulai showed up and said hi to Sun Wukong. Rulai knew Sun Wukong straight away because his soul essence was still the same, even though he looked different now. But Sun Wukong wasn't too thrilled about Rulai being there. Rulai didn't lift a finger to help when Sun Wukong was trying to protect the sacred lotus 16 years ago. That's what led to Sun Wukong getting killed by Erlan. Rulai figured out that Sun Wukong was still mad about it, so Rulai said he'd explain everything next time to clear things up. Rulai then said something important to Sun Wukong. He explained that there was a really big problem going on. He asked Sun Wukong to forget about their own issues and help fix it. This problem was tied to Sanzang and his disciple trip to the west, plus the Heavenly Kingdom was in serious trouble. Rulai wanted Sun Wukong to go with him to the Ashura Kingdom. There they could find something that would reveal the truth. Sun Wukong finally said yes and agreed to go with Rulai. After a while, they reached the Ashura Kingdom, and Rulai told Sun Wukong about a battle between the Heavenly Kingdom and the Ashura Kingdom from 300 years back. During that fight, the Jade Emperor used a sword that stood for justice. But after the battle, he left that sword in a city in the Ashura Kingdom that was deserted now. Rulai thought that they might figure out how the dark forces got into the Heavenly Kingdom if they found that sword. Sun Wukong wasn't too keen on helping out the Heavenly Kingdom, especially after what went down 16 years ago. But Rulai tried to talk him into it. He said the darkness had messed up the Jade Emperor, and he was planning to use the sacred lotus for bad stuff. Rulai thought if they could stop the Jade Emperor, they'd also be helping Sanzang on his mission to take the sacred lotus back to the west. Then Rulai explained his plan. He'd distract the Ashura Kingdom's soldiers while Sun Wukong sneaked into the old city ruins to grab the Jade Emperor's sword. Before they got started on the plan, Rulai gave Sun Wukong a scroll. He said it would help Sun Wukong decide what to do next, just in case he didn't come back. Rulai explained how the Ashura Kingdom worked. There was a king named Lou Huo who believed the strongest should have all the power. The Ashura Kingdom was a dark place that even the gods didn't want to mess with. When Rulai and Sun Wukong were about to head into the city, some kids threw rocks at Sun Wukong. The people in the Ashura Kingdom didn't like outsiders, including their king, Lou Huo. The scene then switches to the past. There was young Lou Huo living in the Ashura Kingdom with his brothers. Unlike the other kids who liked to fight, Lou Huo was quiet and kept to himself. One day, a kid made fun of him for being alone. Surprisingly, Lou Huo said they'd all be killed. A few years later, teenage Lou Huo was getting ready to fight other teenage boys. They were having a fight in a special arena to find the best young warriors. Lou Huo was amazing at fighting. He was way better than the other teenagers and easily beat them. Since they had to fight to the death, Lou Huo didn't waste any time. He killed his opponents without holding back, even though he told them he didn't really want to but had no choice. After the fight, Shinlu Jia, who was like the top judge in Ashura, came to Lou Huo. He said congrats for passing and offered Lou Huo a spot with one of the 3 Ashura King's troops. The folks watching the fight were super happy about Lou Huo's win. They thought he should totally accept Shinlu Jia's offer. But Lou Huo wasn't happy at all about winning. He surprised everyone by chopping off his opponent's head, saying he wanted some alone time. Shinlu Jia and the people were totally shocked. A lot of them got mad at Lou Huo, called him a traitor, and said he didn't deserve to be called an Ashura warrior. But that didn't stop Lou Huo. He left the Ashura kingdom and went into exile. In the present, Rulai explained that having 3 kings leading the Ashura kingdom actually made them weaker. The kings fought each other for power, and that caused big problems inside the clan. Rulai told Sun Wukong that after Lou Huo left, Shinlu Jia and the royal court kept using fighting to settle things in the kingdom. After spending years away, Lou Huo finally came back to the Ashura kingdom. He wanted to challenge all the warriors who were following the 3 Ashura kings. Lou Huo had a plan. He wanted to be the 4th king and change the whole system in the Ashura kingdom. When people heard this, they thought he was nuts. Nobody ever dared to mess with the government system or go against the 3 Ashura kings. Still, the Ashura warriors accepted Lou Huo's challenge. They wanted to stop him by taking him out. So the strongest warriors got into the battle arena, and Lou Huo immediately showed off his huge power. He was way stronger than them. He fought for 10 whole days, beating hundreds of Ashura warriors. No one dared to fight him anymore. That's when Lu Jia decided to make Lou Huo the 4th king. After that, a lot of Ashura soldiers followed Lou Huo and became his loyal followers. From then on, Lou Huo and the other 3 kings worked together to lead the Ashura kingdom. In the present, Rulai told Sun Wukong that he used to be friends with Lou Huo and hoped that friendship was still important to Lou Huo. While they explored deeper in the abandoned city, they met a warrior named Guisha. This warrior was in charge of keeping things safe and solving problems in the abandoned city. Rulai was pretty polite when he said he wanted to meet Lou Huo, but Guisha wasn't up for it. Guisha got ready to fight them. While Guisha and Sun Wukong were having a huge fight, other Ashura warriors wanted to kill Rulai because the Ashura clan hated gods. Rulai quickly figured out that fighting in the streets wouldn't help, so he suggested they follow Ashura's rules and take it to the Ashura court. But Guisha and the others said no to Rulai's request. They said he wasn't part of the Ashura clan, so he couldn't bring a case to their court. Still, Rulai explained that anyone could challenge someone to a one-on-one fight in the Ashura court. Lots of people would watch, and that's how they settled things. Chief Justice Guji confirmed what Rulai said. She told Guisha and the rest that they'd set up the court to solve the problem. She also said anyone who wanted to kill Rulai could challenge him according to their court rules. But Guji also made it clear that the Ashura clan and gods would always be enemies. In the Ashura Kingdom court, Huji told Rulai he just had to beat the warriors who agreed to fight him one-on-one. If nobody else could beat him, then the court would let him meet Lou Huo. The first warrior to step up was Baigo. He was a respected level 3 soldier. Baigo jumped right into the arena thinking he could easily beat Rulai, who was a god. He even asked the crowd to cheer for his victory, but their cheers surprised him. Rulai took advantage of the moment and punched Baigo in the face, knocking him down. Rulai didn't want to waste time, so he called for the next challenger. But Baigo got back up and started fighting Rulai again. They went at it, with Baigo trying to match Rulai's super strength. Rulai aimed for Baigo's weak points to finish the fight, but Baigo kept going even after those attacks. He was getting ready to use a special move, the Warrior's Spirit, to beat Rulai. The Warrior's Spirit boosted Baigo's strength and speed. He started hitting Rulai like crazy. Sun Wukong was totally focused on the fight, forgetting what Rulai told him to do. Meanwhile, Huji sent a crow to tell Lou Huo about Rulai and Sun Wukong being in court. In the arena, Baigo seemed to be holding his own against Rulai. He almost had Rulai cornered a few times. The crowd got super excited, thinking Baigo could win. But Huji knew better. She knew Rulai was one of the toughest gods in the Heavenly Kingdom. Huji had a feeling Rulai wasn't giving it his all. She thought Rulai could easily finish Baigo with his super moves, but Rulai held back on purpose. He knew Baigo wasn't really a match for him. Rulai finally ended the fight after he broke Baigo's arm and knocked him out. Baigo couldn't keep going. Rulai then got ready to fight Gui Todao, another Ashura warrior. Gui Todao had fought Rulai during a big battle between the Ashura clan and the Heavenly Kingdom 300 years ago. Back then, Gui Dao had Rulai in a tough spot, but the battle didn't end because the Jade Emperor suddenly ordered his side to retreat, including Rulai. The crowd cheered for Gui Dao. They thought he could beat Rulai because he was an elite Ashura warrior who had taken out heavenly soldiers in the battle from 300 years ago. Meanwhile, there's a scene in the forest where Ashura boys are hunting animals. Lou Huo was up in the trees, watching them. He got a message from Hu Ji through a crow. Lou Huo didn't look too happy when he heard Rulai was in the Ashura kingdom, causing a big fuss to meet him. On the other hand, soon Wukong remembered he had something important to do. He sneaked into a ruined city where the Ashura clan fought the gods. Soon Wukong was on a mission to find the Jade Emperor's special sword in the ruins, but it wasn't easy because Rulai hadn't given him any hints about what the sword looked like. He ended up collecting various swords, hoping one of them was the right one. As he left with the assortment of swords, soon Wukong sensed something unusual about the aura of a particular sword. He thought he might have located the Jade Emperor's sword. Just as he was about to grab it, he narrowly dodged an attack from a thrown weapon. That's when Lou Huo arrived and confessed that he had thrown the weapon. Lou Huo had figured out Rulai's plan to retrieve the Jade Emperor's sword from the ruins. He was actually a little impressed by Sun Wukong's presence. Among demons, Sun Wukong was famous for challenging the Jade Emperor and causing chaos in the Heavenly Kingdom. However, Lou Huo wasn't willing to let Sun Wukong simply take something from the ruins. Sun Wukong disagreed, stating that the sword didn't belong to Lou Huo or the Ashura clan. It was the Jade Emperor's. He didn't like being labeled a thief. Lou Huo explained that he had led the bravest Ashura warriors against the Jade Emperor and the gods who attacked them 300 years ago. In the past, they battled fiercely against the Jade Emperor and his army, resulting in the loss of many warriors from both sides. Ultimately, the Jade Emperor fled and left his sword behind. This sword became a trophy of victory for Lou Huo, representing the bravery of his fallen comrades and their honor. For this reason, Lou Huo was determined to protect the sword and wouldn't allow anyone to take it. If Sun Wukong wanted the Jade Emperor's sword, he would have to fight Lou Huo for it. To make things even, Lou Huo challenged Sun Wukong to retrieve the skull attached to his belt if he wanted the sword. Unfazed by the challenge, Sun Wukong agreed to the fight. He readied his magical staff, fully prepared to face Lou Huo. Before they clashed, Sun Wukong issued a warning, but Lou Huo didn't seem to pay much attention. He swiftly initiated the fight by launching an attack. A fierce battle ensued between Sun Wukong and Lou Huo. Both brandished their powerful weapons and gave it their all, unleashing attacks in an attempt to defeat each other. With his special weapon, Lou Huo managed to strike Sun Wukong, but Sun Wukong employed a technique that created multiple copies of himself to overwhelm Lou Huo. Although Lou Huo destroyed the copies, their sheer number posed a challenge. Meanwhile, Sun Wukong used his technique to enlarge his magical staff and successfully struck Lou Huo with its immense force. It seemed that Lou Huo was defeated, and Sun Wukong offered him the Jade Emperor's sword. Surprisingly, Lou Huo stood up again, emanating a powerful aura that signaled his determination to continue the battle. Lou Huo shared that he hadn't felt so fired up in the past 300 years and admitted Sun Wukong's greatness for making him fight at his fullest. He even recognized Sun Wukong as a legendary demon. Meanwhile, Sun Wukong shifted into his giant ape form, gearing up for a more serious fight against Lou Huo. Lou Huo unleashed a powerful Ashura technique, but Sun Wukong had observed Rulai's fight and discovered an effective strategy to defeat Lou Huo. As Lou Huo battled the giant ape, the real Sun Wukong sneakily took the skull from Lou Huo's belt. With the skull in his possession, Sun Wukong was declared the winner as per their agreement. Though annoyed by Sun Wukong's trickery, Lou Huo honored the deal and instructed him to leave the Ashura kingdom after taking the Jade Emperor's sword. He warned that other Ashura warriors might try to kill Sun Wukong, but Sun Wukong wasn't worried and felt confident he could escape. After returning the skull to Lou Huo, Sun Wukong swiftly flew to the highest peak to retrieve the Jade Emperor's sword. As Sun Wukong pulled the Jade Emperor's sword from the ruined tower, Ashura warriors arrived and got ready to attack him. Before leaving, Lou Huo advised Sun Wukong to train harder before challenging him again to a fight. Sun Wukong assured Lou Huo that he would defeat him if they fought again. At the Ashura Kingdom court, Hu Ji learned of Lou Huo's fight with Sun Wukong, but chose to ignore it due to Rulai's intense battle against Gui Dao. Gui Dao was proving stronger and more experienced than Bai Go, overwhelming Rulai. Gui Dao recognized Rulai's exceptional strength from the battle 300 years ago. Rulai, impressed by Gui Dao's memory, added more power to his attacks and managed to knock Gui Dao down with a punch. Gui Dao's son urged him to keep fighting, but Gui Xia attacked from behind, instantly killing Wei Toudao. This dark act was in line with the Ashura clan's nature, which Rulai seemed to expect. Weisha, who always boasts about strength, tells everyone that the Ashura clan is the world's greatest fighting clan, so weaker fighters like Wei Toudao deserve to be removed. He plans to defeat Rulai to uphold the Ashura clan's reputation and adopt Wei Toudao's son as his own. Guishe stresses that he won't let anyone, even gods, belittle the Ashura clan's pride. With this short speech, he gains strong support from the Ashura clan, and they cheer him on to beat Rulai. Before facing Guisha, Rulai asks Huji for permission to share his thoughts on the Ashura clan. After getting approval, Rulai addresses Guisha and the audience. He notes that the Ashura clan always produces great descendants who are forced to fight amongst themselves. Rulai believes this infighting is harsh and could lead to the clan's downfall. While he admires the Ashura clan's courage and fighting spirit, Rulai regrets their view that victory is everything, which drives them to kill weaker clan members. Rulai explains that a strong fighter isn't someone who wins every fight, but someone who values others' lives and protects those weaker than them. Unfortunately, Rulai's heartfelt speech didn't quite connect with the Ashura clan. One clan member boldly doubted the trustworthiness of God's words, leaving Rulai with no option but to win the fight to prove his point. Before the battle began, Guishe swiftly unleashed one of his ultimate moves and confidently declared that he figured out Rulai's tactics from previous fights, claiming they wouldn't work on him. However, even with this knowledge, Guishe couldn't predict Rulai's empowered attacks, which overwhelmed him. Guishe used this chance to catch Rulai off guard and stabbed his wrist with a dagger. Rulai acknowledged Guishe's cleverness in surprising him and causing a painful injury, though not a life-threatening one. Guishe then seized his weapon and relentlessly attacked Rulai, who struggled to avoid his blows and seemed close to his limits. Guishe gained control of the fight, growing confident in using his strongest move to defeat Rulai. The crowd cheered for Guishe as he cornered Rulai, rendering him powerless against the onslaught. But it turned out that Guishe, as a mere warrior, was nowhere near strong enough to defeat Rulai, who was one of the mightiest gods in the Heavenly Kingdom. Rulai then unleashed his incredible divine power, which shattered Guishe's special technique and healed his wounds instantly. Rulai acknowledged Guishe's skill, as he had forced Rulai to fight more seriously. With his overwhelming divine power, Rulai could easily counter Guishe's signature move with just one finger. While Rulai initially aimed to finish the fight with a deadly blow targeted at Guishe, he changed his mind at the last second, realizing that killing Guishe would create an irreversible mess. This surprised soon Wukong and the audience, as they didn't expect Rulai to show compassion and spare Guishe's life when he had the chance to kill him. Rulai explained to everyone that wins and losses were part of battles, but what truly mattered was that the fight shouldn't breed hatred between the sides. He mentioned that the feud between the Ashura clan and the gods had lasted for thousands of years, and the current generation of the Ashura clan witnessing the battle wasn't directly involved in the ancient conflict. Therefore, there was no need for them to hold on to hatred. Guishe dismissed this as nonsense, stating that the Ashura clan's animosity towards the gods would never fade. However, just as Guishe was about to attack Rulai, Lou Huo finally arrived at the Ashura Kingdom court. The Ashura clan members were overjoyed to see their king and cheered enthusiastically, hoping that Lou Huo would step in, continue the fight, and vanquish Rulai. Unexpectedly, Lou Huo had an announcement for the Ashura clan. Rulai had won the court. Through his strength and bravery, Rulai emerged victorious against 3 of the Ashura clan's mightiest warriors. This led Lou Huo to conclude the trial. Afterwards, Lou Huo approached Rulai, acknowledging that Rulai had become stronger since their last encounter 300 years ago. Rulai responded by expressing gratitude for the meeting, seeing it as a sign that Lou Huo still valued their friendship. However, Lou Huo openly voiced his disagreement with Rulai's actions, particularly his decision to send Sun Wukong to retrieve the Jade Emperor's magic sword from the ruins of the abandoned city. Rulai couldn't deny his true purpose in coming to the Ashura Kingdom was indeed to retrieve the sword, yet he chose not to reveal all the details of his plan to Lou Huo, as his current actions weren't solely linked to the Heavenly Kingdom. Rulai aimed to convince Lou Huo that his actions were part of a broader effort to maintain balance in the universe. In response, Lou Huo reminded Rulai of their agreement from 300 years ago. The scene shifts, showing a fierce one-on-one battle between Rulai and Lou Huo. The fight raged on for 10 consecutive days, with Lou Huo persisting despite fatigue and injuries. Seeing Lou Huo struggling, Rulai suggested a truce. However, Lou Huo rejected the idea, remaining steadfast in his belief that the Ashura clan would never negotiate with the gods. Then Rulai attempted to sway Lou Huo's perspective, He pointed out that the grudge between the Ashura clan and the gods had spanned thousands of years and had inflicted significant losses on both sides. Rulai suggested they put an end to the fighting. He proposed that the Ashura clan should abandon their tradition of internal strife, explaining that harboring hatred would only consume them and lead to their demise. At the time, Lou Huo didn't agree with Rulai's words, but he remained silent, unable to find a suitable response to counter them. In the present, despite expressing admiration for Rulai, Lou Huo, as the Ashura kingdom's king, couldn't just let Rulai go. He aimed to imprison Rulai and threatened to kill him if he tried to escape. Meanwhile, soon Wukong, having escaped from the Ashura kingdom, opened the scroll that Rulai had given him to uncover the next step in their plan. Inside the scroll, he discovered a tiny golden Buddha statue that could move and speak. Through the miniature statue, Rulai expressed gratitude to Sun Wukong for accompanying him and helping retrieve the Jade Emperor's magic sword. Rulai urged Sun Wukong to depart the Ashura kingdom without waiting for him, as he intended to resolve his matters with Lou Huo. Moreover, Rulai instructed Sun Wukong to journey to the Heavenly Kingdom and deliver the sword to Sha Xin. Sun Wukong felt initially irritated as he perceived Rulai was involving him once again with the Heavenly Kingdom, without explaining the truth behind the incident that had occurred 16 years ago. The little golden Buddha statue explained to Sun Wukong that Rulai was investigating the looming catastrophe in the Heavenly Kingdom. Rulai had discovered signs of a dark power emerging there. To prove the truth about this darkness, Rulai risked his life by venturing to the Ashura kingdom to retrieve the Jade Emperor's magic sword. Before fading away, the miniature Buddha insisted that Sun Wukong deliver the sword directly to Sha Xin. This was so Sha Xin could see the truth firsthand. Sun Wukong wasn't too keen on dealing with Sha Xin, whom he greatly disliked, but his curiosity about Rulai's claims pushed him to go to the Heavenly Kingdom and execute the plan. The scene shifted to Sha Xin briefing the Jade Emperor about Sanzang and his disciples. They had left the Bull Demon's territory and were now in a region called the Land of Earth Cracks. Sha Xin harbored suspicions about the Jade Emperor's shift away from righteousness, especially since Rulai had warned him about it earlier. After leaving his palace, the Jade Emperor entered a chamber known as the Hall of Shadows. There, he ordered his underlings to attack Sanzang and his disciples, who were currently in the Land of Earth Cracks, and seize the sacred lotus from them. Meanwhile, Sanzang and his disciples decided to spend the night in the Land of Earth Cracks. Sanzang instructed Bai Long to practice and assigned Zhu Baji to watch over Xiao Yu while Bai Long trained. Xiao Wujing cautioned Sanzang that the Land of Cracks became more perilous at night, advising them to remain vigilant against attacks from ferocious monsters. Meanwhile, Ao Shui noticed that Sanzang and the others were preoccupied, so he approached Bai Long, who was training alone. He wanted to inquire about the sacred lotus, seemingly unaware that Xiao Yu embodied it. Ao Shui tried to convince Bai Long by offering to teach him some techniques to master Yu Zhang's dragon spirit. In exchange, he asked Bai Long to spill the beans about the hidden sacred lotus. Just as Bai Long was about to explain, they were caught off guard when Xiao Yu sneakily joined them. Xiao Yu then expressed her admiration for Ao Shui, lauding him as a courageous dragon who once battled Garuda while he was still at the academy. Adding to the praise, Xiao Yu found Ao Shui quite cool for leaving his hometown and exploring the wider world. She revealed that she knew about Ao Shui through her adopted brother Yu Zhang, who considered Ao Shui his best friend. Bai Long then unveiled the truth to Ao Shui that Xiao Yu was the embodiment of the sacred lotus, transformed by King Tian Yu, who lovingly raised her as his daughter. Hearing this, Ao Shui contemplated the right approach and timing to kidnap Xiao Yu and take her to Nanji's location to save Ao Lane. Shortly after, Sanzang questioned Ao Shui about what happened after his brother brought him back to their hometown following his capture. However, Ao Shui was hesitant to divulge the truth to Sanzang. Instead, he told Sanzang that his father welcomed him back with open arms. Approaching Ao Shui, Sanzang inquired about the complete disappearance of the curse that turned Ao Shui into a horse, a punishment inflicted by Sha Xin. This curse was meant to make Ao Shui accompany Sanzang on the journey to the west. Sanzang also observed that Ao Shui's strength had remarkably surged in a short span, sparking suspicions that something significant had occurred. Ao Shui tried to dodge Sanzang's question by claiming to have met an extraordinary dragon who helped him break the curse and gain immense strength. Meanwhile, Xiao Yu listened, her thoughts dwelling on the remarkable dragon king from her recurring nightmares. Detecting Ao Shui's untruthfulness, Sanzang pressed him to divulge the truth. After all, if the curse was lifted from Sha Xin, there was no logical reason for Ao Shui to continue traveling with them. Annoyed, Ao Shui feigned anger, attributing it to Sanzang's constant suspicion. He left the scene, and Xiao Yu subsequently alerted Sanzang about the exceptional dragon mentioned by Shui, possibly the Dragon King from her nightmares. In the midst of the night, when Bai Long and the group were sound asleep from their exhausting journey and battles, bloodthirsty demons emerged from the ravine, ready to prey upon them. Sensing the danger, Shui swiftly awakened Sanzang and the others, anticipating the impending demon attack. Not long after, Sanzang and his disciples found themselves in yet another battle with the bloodthirsty demons, who this time swarmed them from all directions in even larger numbers. The group struggled valiantly against the demons, with even Xiao Yu, though the weakest among them, joining the fight with her own powers. Meanwhile, Shui showcased his newfound strength by obliterating demons with a single attack, leaving everyone in awe of his significant power boost. Yet, unbeknownst to them, Shui harbored plans to seize Xiao Yu during the chaos. His opportunity arose when Shawujin conjured a sandstorm that wiped out the demons in one fell swoop. After the sandstorm subsided, Bai Long informed Sanzang that both Xiao Yu and Shui were missing. Realizing Shui's intentions to steal the sacred lotus, Sanzang rallied his disciples to quickly give chase, hoping to rescue Xiao Yu before any harm came her way. Meanwhile, Shui had rendered Xiao Yu unconscious and fled with her, pursued by Sanzang and his disciples. He eventually reached a spot where he signaled Najia, reminding him of their agreement to free Ling in exchange for the sacred lotus. Despite his reluctance, Shui found himself betraying Sanzang to secure Ling's release from Najia's clutches. Soon after sending the signal, Najia arrived, and Shui disclosed to him that the sacred lotus had manifested as Xiao Yu. Having delivered the sacred lotus to Najia, Shui immediately pressed Najia to fulfill their agreement and release Ling. Najia lauded Shui for succeeding in wresting the sacred lotus from Sanzang and his group, then approached the still unconscious Xiao Yu. However, Shui intervened, blocking Najia's path and reminding him of his unmet promise. He even went as far as to threaten to drop Xiao Yu into a bottomless pit unless Ling was freed. Despite Shui's threat, Najia dismissed it and instead warned Shui to comply with him. The vast power disparity between them left Shui paralyzed with fear as Najia seized Xiao Yu and began absorbing the sacred lotus's immense energy. Unexpectedly, as Najia absorbed the energy, Xiao Yu's form transformed into sand, inciting Najia's fury, believing Shui had deceived him. To further intimidate Shui, Najia revealed Ling's spirit. In a desperate plea, Shui begged Najia for another chance to snatch the sacred lotus from Sanzang's group. Just then, Sanzang arrived on the scene and learned that Shui's actions were driven by a desire to save someone dear to him. He reassured Shui that if he had shared his reasons from the beginning, they would have helped him resolve the situation. However, Shui's reaction was unexpected. He was far from pleased with Sanzang's offer of assistance, perceiving Sanzang as self-righteous. Sanzang isn't much bothered about what others think of him and lets Shui know that there's kindness within him since he cares about others' safety. Still, Sanzang cautions Shui that sacrificing one to save another isn't a noble deed, as life isn't something easily traded. This only annoys Shui more, and he brings up the incident from 16 years ago, blaming Sanzang for Sun Wukong's death. He also points out that Sanzang imprisoned him for 16 years, so he believes Sanzang has no right to lecture him about goodness when he never showed kindness to Shui. Frustrated with Sanzang, Shui asserts that Sanzang is never wrong and has always been accused of rebellion. Sanzang's anger boils over, leading to a confrontation where teacher and disciple clash. Despite Shui's newfound power, he struggles against Sanzang's superior strength and precision in launching attacks. Meanwhile, Bai Long and the others watch from a distance, and Xiao Yu worries about Sanzang being overwhelmed by Shui's onslaught. Zhu Bajie reassures Xiao Yu, mentioning that Sanzang's fighting skills surpass Shui's, allowing him to confront Shui alone. As Sanzang and Shui continued their intense battle, Shawujing seized the opportunity to trap Najia in a swirling sand tornado, nearly causing him to drop Ling's spirit. Shawujing attempted a rescue, but Najia swiftly counterattacked, knocking him down. In response, Zhu Bajie emerged from hiding and joined the fray against Najia. However, the evident power gap between them led to Shawujing and Zhu Bajie's defeat, allowing Najia to regain control of Ling's spirit. Witnessing Sanzang and his disciples struggling against Najia, Shui grew fearful and hesitated to oppose Najia, despite Bai Long's encouragement to join the fight to save Ling. Sanzang remained convinced that Shui still held goodness in his heart. Regrouping for another round of battle, Sanzang and his disciples launched a joint attack against Najia. Yet despite their combined efforts, their attacks proved futile against Najia, who easily repelled them. This left Xiaoyu alone to confront Najia. She attempted to seek help from Shui, but his lack of courage prevented him from standing up to Najia, causing him to ignore Xiaoyu's plea for assistance. Thankfully, Shu Wujing arrived just in time and used his sand power to rescue Xiaoyu. Despite facing Najia again, Sanzang and his disciples gathered their strength for their strongest attacks. However, Najia effortlessly deflected their attacks and knocked them down once more. Sanzang tried to restrict Najia's movements and contain his thunder power, while his disciples united to unleash their mightiest blows. Yet all their efforts proved futile against Najia's superiority, as he even managed to turn their attacks against them. Realizing they were at their limits, Najia arrogantly spoke of the honor of being defeated by his thunder power. As Najia prepared to finish off Sanzang, Shui acted swiftly to save his master. He launched an attack that forced Najia back a few steps, preventing his lethal blow. Shu Wujing immediately used his sand chain technique to immobilize Najia, binding him to a large boulder. Zubajie then hurled the boulder into a bottomless pit, sealing Najia's fate. Simultaneously, the thunderous roar above ceased abruptly, a sign that they had successfully paralyzed Najia. Sanzang collapsed from exhaustion after the intense battle. However, their struggle bore fruit as they managed to wrest Ling's spirit from Najia's grip. Sanzang entrusted Ling's spirit to Shui despite his earlier betrayal. This act helped restore the trust between Shui and the group. They decided to resume their journey west to return the sacred lotus to its rightful place. Shu Wujing advised them to leave the land of earth cracks at once, with Shui emphasizing that their attack had only temporarily subdued Najia. They needed to escape swiftly before Najia broke free from Shu Wujing's sand chain restraint. As they continued running through the treacherous earth-cracked land, Sanzang opened up to Shui. He admitted his initial suspicions about Shui after the dragon's unusual revelation. This prompted Sanzang to activate an emergency code he had prepared with Shu Wujing and Zubajie prior to Shui rejoining them. They shared their concerns about Shui, speculating on his motives for rejoining despite breaking the curse seal. Sanzang believed Shui might target Xiaoyu, so he instructed Shu Wujing to create a sand-powered duplicate of Xiaoyu for safety. Zubajie proposed attacking Shui directly, but Sanzang dismissed the idea, sensing desperation in Shui's actions. Their suspicions were confirmed when they learned that Shui was coerced by Najia to seize the sacred lotus in exchange for saving his friend Ling. After a brief rest, Bai Long felt relieved, thinking they had escaped Najia. However, Shu Wujing suspected otherwise, as he sensed the sand chain seal he placed on Najia had been broken. Suddenly, Najia appeared before them, radiating immense power and anger, particularly directed at Shui. Najia recalled saving Shui from Garuda's attack, feeling betrayed that Shui conspired with Sanzang to deceive him. He warned of severe consequences for betrayal, attempting to intimidate Shui. Undeterred, Shui gathered his courage to face Najia, now that Ling was free from captivity. He resolved to confront Najia with all his strength. Sanzang stood up for Shui, insisting that Shui had been part of their team all along and hadn't betrayed them. He rallied everyone to join forces against Najia. Xiaoyu boldly opposed Najia, not wanting him to gain the sacred lotus of power. This angered Najia, who unleashed a fierce thunderstorm to overpower Sanzang and his disciples. Realizing the threat of Najia's attack weakening them, Shui took the initiative to strike back, hoping to break free from the storm's grip. Although he managed to dispel the thunderstorm, he drew Najia's wrath and suffered a brutal beating. Najia reminded Shui of the past torture inflicted by Sanzang during their journey and how Shui had been imprisoned for 16 years afterward. Najia cruelly brought up Shui's history of neglect, saying even his own father wanted him dead. He claimed to be the only one willing to accept Shui, accusing him of conspiring with Sanzang against him. Fueled by anger, Najia readied a deadly attack, but Zubajie intervened, defending Shui and professing his care for his comrade. Shu Wujing nearly fell victim to Najia's attack while trying to help Zubajie. He saved himself by turning into a grain of sand. As Najia focused on them, Sanzang seized the chance, launching a powerful attack that left Najia unconscious. The rumbling thunder ceased, indicating they had temporarily disabled Najia. Even though they had managed to temporarily disable Najia, Shui and the group couldn't relax. Demons from all sides returned, ready to attack. Sanzang and his disciples faced a tough situation, exhausted from the battle against Najia. The scene shifted to the floating island prison in the Heavenly Kingdom. This prison held gods who committed treason. One of the prisoners, Shu Tian, had been ordered by the Jade Emperor to capture Rulai. However, Shu and Taiyan chose to let Rulai escape after discovering the spreading darkest power in the Heavenly Kingdom. He hoped Rulai could reveal the truth. This act led to Shu and Tian's arrest and imprisonment. In prison, Shu and Tian was visited by Bishamonten, who asked about his betrayal. Shu and Tian explained that Rulai wasn't a traitor, suspecting the Jade Emperor had lost his way due to the darkness power. He believed this power aimed to destroy the Heavenly Kingdom and regretted not realizing it earlier. Shu and Tian hoped Rulai could bring an end to the chaos. When asked about Rulai's plan, Shu and Tian stayed vague, advising Bishamonten to be cautious. After Bishamonten left, Shu and Tian reminisced about a battle with the Ashura clan years ago. He and the Jade Emperor fought against Ashura's leader, Lou Huo. Surprisingly, Lou Huo managed to corner them, forcing the Jade Emperor to withdraw their troops from the Ashura kingdom. Not just that, the Jade Emperor blamed himself for making a wrong calculation. They faced defeat and lost many skilled warriors in the battle. As they were leaving the Ashura kingdom, they got surrounded by Ashura warriors preparing to attack. The Jade Emperor told Shu and Tian to escape, while he would face the attackers. But Shu and Chan refused to abandon his best friend and insisted they fight together. Those moments stuck with Shu and Tian till now, so he didn't expect the Jade Emperor to order his execution. Some days later, a maid named Mei Ling was cleaning Sha Xin's place and accidentally found the scroll discussing an investigation into a maid's mysterious death, Mu Li. It revealed that Mu Li had died due to the spreading darkness power in the Heavenly Kingdom. Surprisingly, Mei Ling was a spy working for the Jade Emperor assigned to watch over Sha Xin. She rushed to report this to the Jade Emperor, who was then advised by Gong Xing to eliminate Sha Xin before he messed up their plans. The Jade Emperor refused, stating he still needed Sha Xin's strength and insights. He also wanted Sha Xin to keep an eye on Rulai, who now possessed the magic sword from the Ashura kingdom. Therefore, the Jade Emperor, thinking that kicking out Sha Xin at this time is not a good idea. Sha Xin is super loyal to the Jade Emperor, so it's better to keep him around. Later that night, some ladies who work as servants walking around the Heavenly Palace. Unbeknownst to them, Gong Xing is secretly following them, and he decides to kidnap one of the maids to get Sha Xin's attention. Meanwhile, Sha Xin is at his place when suddenly he senses something weird going on in the Heavenly Palace, so he immediately rushes out to check the situation at the same time. He spots Gong Xing trying to escape with a maid and interrogated him to find out about his real identity and also of his purpose of infiltrating the Heavenly Kingdom. But Gong Xing refused to explain anything to Sha Xin and chose to start a fight against the god. During their quick fight, it was really obvious that Gong Xing wasn't even close to being as strong as Sha Xin, as Sha Xin is one of the top gods in the Heavenly Kingdom, almost as strong as Erlong and Rulai. Sha Xin took down Gong Xing without much trouble and made him spill the beans about who he really was. But Gong Xing managed to hurt Sha Xin, even though he just scratched Sha Xin's neck. Gong Xing was getting ready to fight back, but Sha Xin didn't want to waste time dealing with him. Sha Xin used one of his special moves to beat Gong Xing. But Gong Xing escaped that move. The maids watching the whole thing were super impressed by Sha Xin. They thought he was amazing because not only was he good-looking, but he was also super strong. Sha Xin didn't pay much attention to the maid's admiration, though. He was on a mission to figure out what was up with that dark aura thing. He followed the trail and ended up at Erlong's place, and Erlong wasn't there. Sha Xin kept digging around at Erlong's place and found a maid's body hidden in a closet. When he looked at how the maid was, he figured she was killed the same way as Mu Li. That Mei Ling showed up and told Sha Xin that the Jade Emperor wanted to see him in his palace. So Sha Xin hurried over and the Jade Emperor spilled the beans. He told Sha Xin that there was this dark soul causing trouble in the Heavenly Palace, and unfortunately, it got away. The Jade Emperor was worried that this dark soul was behind all those weird deaths and maid disappearances. The Jade Emperor said he knew about this darkness thing creeping in the Heavenly Kingdom and had a secret plan to deal with it. Upon hearing that, Sha Xin then asked why the Jade Emperor had kept it a secret from him, and the Jade Emperor replied that he intended to trick their enemies, so he decided to solve the problem in secret. He explained that the bad guys were experts at hiding their dark souls and blending in with the good guys. It was hard to tell who was who. Plus, even really strong gods could get influenced by this darkness and turn all bad. The Jade Emperor admitted he only trusted Sha Xin and hinted that Erlong was in trouble. But actually, he was just trying to trick Sha Xin into thinking bad stuff about Erlong, so Sha Xin wouldn't doubt him. After the Jade Emperor spun his little tale to fool Sha Xin, he dashed over to the Hall of Shadows to meet his men who had gone all dark. He walked up to the platform where they had a maid's body they killed, and his men bowed down to show respect to their leader. Gong Xing, who managed to escape from Sha Xin's attack, then questioned the Jade Emperor's decision who chose to devise such an elaborate plan when it would have been easier if they had simply killed Sha Xin. The Jade Emperor told his men that Sha Xin was not easy to kill. He said if they could still use Sha Xin's loyalty, they'd be golden for their big plan. He added that causing drama among the gods would mess them up way more than just fighting them straight up. But what really got the Jade Emperor's gears turning was Erlong, who posed a big threat. The Emperor didn't want to tangle with Erlong himself, so he set things up to make Sha Xin and Erlong clash. Gong Xing was praised the Jade Emperor for devising such a brilliant plan, and now they are only wait a matter of time until the Heavenly Kingdom is completely overrun by darkness. Then they will take over the Heavenly Kingdom's power to plunge the entire universe into darkness. They had this twisted chat, even laughing as they sipped on the poor maid's blood. The next day, Sha Xin and the heavenly soldiers showed up at Erlong's place, ready to arrest him because the Jade Emperor had smeared Erlong's name. But Erlong was no dummy. He knew what was up and got his weapon ready. He asked Sha Xin what crime he supposedly committed that made the Emperor send the troops after him. Sha Xin then told how Erlong had fallen into darkness after finding a dead female servant in his place, similar to Muli's case. But Erlong believed he was framed and resisted arrest, pointing his weapon at Sha Xin. He warned that his arrest was a ploy by the Darkness Souls to weaken the Heavenly Kingdom's defenses, as he was a top warlord leading the troops. Secretly, Sha Xin telepathically communicated with Erlong to explain he trusted him, and the arrest was a ruse to uncover the Jade Emperor's real plan. Understanding this, Erlong surrendered to Sha Xin's capture. Having captured Erlong, Sha Xin ordered soldiers to arrest other residents suspected of being affected by darkness, including an elite warrior named Jiangdu. Jiangdu resisted but couldn't match Sha Xin's power. Sha Xin also directed the arrest of soldiers and servants in the West Palace, injuring Guangmu Tian. He believed Sha Xin had gone too far by suspecting and imprisoning numerous people as darkness souls, overcrowding the floating island prison. Sha Xin explained to Guangmu Tian that he had to imprison everyone due to the difficulty of identifying the well-camouflaged darkness souls. After leaving Guangmu Tian's place, soon Wukong was spotted secretly watching Sha Xin from the palace ceiling. However, soon Wukong chose not to immediately give the Jade Emperor's magic sword to Sha Xin as Rulai instructed. Instead, he decided to explore the Heavenly Kingdom first. In the Hall of Shadows, the Jade Emperor excitedly shared that Sha Xin had made a massive arrest, including Erlong, the biggest threat. The Jade Emperor was thrilled about outsmarting Sha Xin, allowing him to proceed with his plan to rule the Heavenly Kingdom with darkness power. Meanwhile, soon Wukong arrived at the floating island prison and was surprised to find Erlong among the prisoners. He taunted Erlong, once a respected god in the Heavenly Kingdom for his power and loyalty, now reduced to a prisoner. Erlong didn't recognize Sun Wukong, who had been reborn with a different form. Sun Wukong introduced himself as the Monkey King who once stirred chaos in the Heavenly Kingdom and fought Erlong. He expressed a desire for revenge against Erlong for killing him and sealing his spirit underwater 16 years ago. Hearing this, Erlong surrendered as he couldn't resist being a prisoner. Surprisingly, soon Wukong changed his mind about seeking revenge on Erlong. Fighting someone who couldn't resist like Erlong seemed boring to him. However, Erlong responded by mocking Sun Wukong, claiming that Sun Wukong in his current form wouldn't stand a chance against him if Erlong was at his best. This annoyed Sun Wukong, who assured Erlong that his strength hadn't diminished, even though he appeared as an ordinary boy now. Erlong didn't know why Sun Wukong was in the Heavenly Kingdom and warned him to leave before getting caught. Sun Wukong brushed off the warning, confident that he wouldn't be easily captured by the heavenly soldiers. Before leaving, he replied to Erlong's past words when he was captured, telling Erlong to get used to prison life since he would spend the rest of his days there. After leaving Erlong, Sun Wukong was surprised to find many gods and heavenly soldiers imprisoned in the floating island prison by Sha Xin. He also noticed the Jade Emperor visiting Shun Tian. Shun Tian, seeing the Jade Emperor, told his best friend that he had expected the visit. Shun Tian wasted no time and immediately asked about the Jade Emperor's plans over the past years. The Jade Emperor admitted to having plans and intended to explain them to Shun Tian. But first he tried to manipulate Shun Tian by saying he had been forced to imprison him and justified his actions, playing on their history as best friends. But Shun Tian felt that the Jade Emperor had betrayed him, so he reminded the Jade Emperor about their battle against the Ashura clan 300 years ago. The story shifted to the past, showing the Jade Emperor overwhelmed by Ashura warriors' attacks. Despite being alone, he managed to defeat them with his magic sword, though he got seriously hurt. Just when he thought the fight was over, Lou Huo suddenly appeared and launched a deadly attack. The Jade Emperor had to use all his remaining strength to fight Lou Huo, but he was losing. As Lou Huo was about to finish off the Jade Emperor, Xun Tian arrived and saved him. He brought the Jade Emperor back to the Heavenly Kingdom, unaware that the magic sword was left behind in the Ashura Kingdom. In the present, the Jade Emperor recalled this event to Xun Tian. He admitted that their defeat against the Ashura clan made him realize his weakness as a leader. To become stronger quickly, he turned to darkness. The Jade Emperor explained that the only way to gain instant strength was by embracing darkness. Hearing this, Xun Tian realized that the Jade Emperor's transformation was linked to the magic sword left behind in the Ashura Kingdom. Xun Tian explained that the sword could limit the darkness, so losing it allowed the darkness to take over the Jade Emperor. But the Jade Emperor dismissed this, stating he didn't require the sword as he was now stronger than ever. This angered Xun Tian, who readied himself for an attack, determined to resist the darkness. He felt compelled to defeat the Jade Emperor, who had succumbed to darkness. Yet, surprisingly, the Jade Emperor explained he merely wanted to reveal the truth to Xun Tian and had no intention of fighting his best friend. Moreover, the Jade Emperor proposed an alternative solution, unrelated to fighting or retrieving the abandoned magic sword from the Ashura Kingdom. He suggested entering the Purification Temple of the Three Ancient Gods. Despite its misleading name, the temple is more akin to a purgatory for gods tainted by darkness. It serves to cleanse them and restore their purity. Additionally, the Jade Emperor disclosed his intention to abdicate the Heavenly Kingdom's throne. He acknowledged his unsuitability as a leader and planned to transfer his supreme leadership to Xun Tian. Xun Tian, touched by this honesty and the Jade Emperor's willingness to rectify his mistakes, empathized with him. Approaching the Jade Emperor, he stated that truthfulness from the outset would have been better. Xun Tian vowed to assist the Jade Emperor in resolving the issue before it escalated. He proposed that the Jade Emperor retain his throne, declaring a period of seclusion. He also recommended keeping the Jade Emperor's fall into darkness a secret, sparing him from the painful purification process in the Three Ancient Gods' temple. Hearing this, the Jade Emperor was visibly touched by Xun Tian's genuine concern. But this was exactly what the Jade Emperor aimed to exploit to weaken Xun Tian's guard. When Xun Tian let down his defenses after hearing the Jade Emperor's false remorse, the Jade Emperor swiftly launched a deadly attack. Xun Tian was taken aback when he realized that the Jade Emperor had planned to kill him all along, using the guise of catching him off guard to execute his scheme. Just as the Jade Emperor was about to deliver the fatal blow, an unexpected figure arrived, Sun Wukong. Despite appearing as an ordinary boy, both Xun Tian and the Jade Emperor recognized him as the infamous Great Monkey King. Sun Wukong wasted no time in revealing his purpose for visiting the Heavenly Kingdom, exposing the Jade Emperor's descent into darkness. Aware that Sun Wukong could jeopardize his plans, the Jade Emperor launched a series of lethal attacks against him. Sun Wukong struggled to defend himself and fight back against the overwhelming assault. However, the Jade Emperor seemed to overlook Xun Tian's presence. Xun Tian used his unique technique to assist Sun Wukong, successfully pushing back the Jade Emperor and causing him to crash into a prison building. Regrettably, this move drained Xun Tian of his remaining strength, causing him to collapse from exhaustion. He urged Sun Wukong to leave the Heavenly Kingdom, but Sun Wukong refused to go alone. He resolved to take Xun Tian with him and depart the area. On the other hand, the attack had no effect on the Jade Emperor. He emerged unscathed despite the impact with the prison building. Upon discovering that Sun Wukong and Xun Tian had escaped, the Jade Emperor hatched a plan to make Sun Wukong the scapegoat for the turmoil in the Heavenly Kingdom and hide his sinister intentions. Soon after, an enormous bell in the Heavenly Palace rang out, sounding the alarm about Sun Wukong's intrusion. Gods like Sha Xin, Guang Wuqian guarding the West Gate, Bisha Monten at the North Gate, and Zhengshan Tian stationed at the South Gate, swiftly commanded their armies to prepare for a fierce battle against Sun Wukong. Meanwhile, Xun Tian warned Sun Wukong to stay watchful and cautious, as the Jade Emperor was already set on using the darkest power to seize control of the Heavenly Kingdom. Sun Wukong, however, assured Xun Tian that he needn't worry about him and urged the god to focus on regaining his strength. With that, Sun Wukong hurriedly departed, having a task to fulfill. Simultaneously, the heavenly soldiers under the Jade Emperor's orders to eliminate Sun Wukong launched numerous attacks on him as he made his way through the Heavenly Kingdom to complete his mission. On the other hand, Sha Xin, now the supreme warlord after Erlong, instructed the soldiers to avoid excessive force, to minimize damage and safeguard those incapable of fighting by relocating them to safer areas. Upon hearing this, the Jade Emperor sternly warned Sha Xin and emphasized that their main objective was to capture Sun Wukong. If necessary, Sha Xin was even willing to personally intervene. Meanwhile, Sun Wukong easily overcame the heavenly soldiers and took down several fleet ships dispatched by the Jade Emperor to halt his progress. Seeing this, Dashin, one of the elite warriors, rushed to attack Sun Wukong, but the Monkey King effortlessly blocked the attack using his magical staff. Noticing Dashin struggling, Qingshu and Dingtaku, two other elite warriors, joined in by launching their attacks at Sun Wukong at the same time. Despite their combined efforts, these strongest fighters of the Heavenly Kingdom couldn't halt Sun Wukong, whose strength rivaled that of Erlong. Sun Wukong confidently taunted them, claiming they were no match for his power. Then Bai Hai, an elite female warrior, surprised everyone by launching an attack that momentarily paralyzed Sun Wukong, giving Dashin and the others a chance to attack simultaneously. Despite their best attempts, they couldn't keep Sun Wukong down, and he transformed into an even more powerful giant ape demon, breaking free from their hold. Despite his newfound strength, Sun Wukong remembered Sanzang's advice about protecting the weaker ones. He held back from using excessive force, not wanting to harm the much weaker heavenly soldiers who were simply following the Jade Emperor's orders to eliminate him. Bai Hai realized this, acknowledging that Sun Wukong could have easily defeated them all but chose to shield them from harm. With determination, Sun Wukong used his magical staff to take down the Heavenly Kingdom's warships one by one. Yet, in his mission to thwart the Jade Emperor's dark scheme, he had to confront the gatekeeping gods who possessed far greater strength than the elite warriors. Guang Wuqian led the attack against Sun Wukong, using his well-known technique, but Sun Wukong easily deflected it. In response, the Jade Emperor began addressing the chaos Sun Wukong had caused in the Heavenly Kingdom. However, Sun Wukong had grown tired of the Jade Emperor's deceit and immediately shifted his focus to the Supreme Leader, readying a deadly strike to end the Jade Emperor's life. Yet to his surprise, Zheng Tian, now consumed by darkness, quickly acted by employing his signature seal technique. He confidently claimed that Sun Wukong couldn't break free from his magical net, which would only grow stronger if Sun Wukong resisted. Simultaneously, Guang Wuqian unleashed his technique, contributing to bringing down the giant ape demon. Still, the elite warriors combined their efforts in a coordinated attack, aiming to defeat Sun Wukong. Yet all these assaults proved futile as Sun Wukong transformed back into a small ape demon, freeing himself. Responding, Sun Wukong launched a counterattack, asserting his confidence that none of them could best him. He also attempted to convince the gods that their true adversary was the Jade Emperor, who had fallen into darkness. This prompted the elite warriors to pause and consider Sun Wukong's words, questioning if he might be telling the truth. Nevertheless, they hesitated to accept his claims without evidence, especially given Sun Wukong's past as a troublemaker in the Heavenly Kingdom. Before Sun Wukong could elaborate on the Jade Emperor's misdeeds, pink flower petals suddenly materialized around him, signaling Sha Xin's intervention to apprehend Sun Wukong. Without many words, Sha Xin swiftly employed one of his signature sealing techniques, instantly imprisoning Sun Wukong. Afterward, he handed the captive Sun Wukong over to the Jade Emperor, who planned to judge him swiftly for the chaos he had caused in the Heavenly Kingdom. But Sun Wukong's defeat, Sha Xin urged the Jade Emperor to order the withdrawal of troops and fleets. Unexpectedly, the Jade Emperor revealed his darker side to Sha Xin, openly presenting his subordinates who had succumbed to darkness. Since Sha Xin was one of the most powerful gods in the Heavenly Kingdom, the Jade Emperor extended an offer for him to join in reorganizing the Heavenly Kingdom with the power of darkness. Alongside this announcement, the Jade Emperor's dark subordinates began revealing their true identities, including Dao Xing, Desha Xing, and Kuang Xing. Meanwhile, Guang Wuqian, still puzzled by what was unfolding, turned to Bishamonten nearby. To his surprise, Bishamonten appeared excited, as he had also fallen into darkness and aligned with the Jade Emperor. As the Jade Emperor disclosed his grand plan, he declared himself the Dark Emperor, ushering in a new era governed by the power of darkness. This declaration caused darkness to swiftly spread throughout the Heavenly Kingdom. The gods and elite warriors finally realized Sun Wukong had been speaking the truth, warning them of this, but they had dismissed it. Observing the gods' confusion at the drastic changes in the Heavenly Kingdom, the Dark Emperor assured them there was no need for panic or bewilderment. He promised to lead them to greater power provided they embraced darkness just as he had. But warriors who lacked the power to resist the Dark Emperor's persuasion seemed to be influenced by his words as if he had a hypnotic effect. Meanwhile, the elite warriors and gods who weren't swayed had to confront the Dark Emperor's followers, launching attacks to eliminate them. After unveiling his plan to revolutionize the Heavenly Kingdom's system, the Dark Emperor once again tried to win over Sha Xin. Mei Ling, who had feelings for Sha Xin, wished to be with him and also attempted to convince him to join. With all his questions answered, Sha Xin finally spoke up, revealing that Rulai had warned him about the Jade Emperor's fall into darkness. He stressed that the god's duty was to shield the world from the evil brought by darkness. Therefore, Sha Xin firmly declined the Dark Emperor's offer, pledging to stand against the darkest power. His words motivated the unaffected gods and soldiers to unite against the Dark Emperor and his forces, striving to rescue the Heavenly Kingdom from darkness. Although the Dark Emperor didn't force Sha Xin to join him, he warned that Sha Xin had made a mistake and must face the consequences. An intense battle ensued between the gods and the Dark Emperor's army, both sides unleashing their full strength to conquer the other. Amidst the chaos, Guang Muqian was challenged to a one-on-one duel by Deshixing, who aimed to replace Guang Muqian as the guardian of the Western Gate. Guang Muqian didn't even hesitate, he just accepted the challenge right away. He used his special move to start the first attack. He knocked down Deshixing a few times, making him feel really strong. He had Deshixing cornered, but Deshixing had his own special move where he turned into poisonous smoke. At the same time, the really skilled warriors were having a tough time because the Dark Emperor's crew was growing in number. Lots of the good soldiers turned bad. Over on the other side, Gong Sheng, who had clashed with Sha Xin back in the Heavenly Palace, surprised Sha Xin with an attack. But Sha Xin wasn't caught off guard. He was ready for it because he was close to the Dark Emperor. Sha Xin even insulted Gong Sheng, and that got the Dark Emperor talking. The Dark Emperor warned Sha Xin not to underestimate his men because they had some secret superpowers. Gong Sheng wanted to take Sha Xin's place as the guardian god of the Heavenly Kingdom, so he was all set to make a big attack and hoped it would finish Sha Xin off. But just before Gong Sheng could do his thing, soon Wukong's magic staff came out of nowhere and whacked Gong Sheng, sending him flying. Turns out, Sun Wukong and Sha Xin were buddies. They tricked everyone into thinking they were enemies to expose the Jade Emperor, who went bad. The scene then switches to show to Sanzang and his disciples. They were putting all their energy into guarding this sacred lotus. Najio wanted the lotus's power, so he was back in action after being paralyzed. He was ready to attack again. But things were getting worse for Sanzang and the others because they weren't just dealing with Najia. There were also mean demons coming at them from every direction, hungry for a fight. Even though things were really tough, Sanzang kept cheering up his disciples and told them to keep fighting for the sacred lotus. The demons were after them too. Najia, one of the demons, decided to show off his moves by making a huge fire, just like in Xiao Yu's bad dream. He acted all big, saying Sanzang and his disciples were weak, and he was this awesome dragon. Najia then shot tons of fireballs all over the place like a bunch of shooting stars. But that didn't break Sanzang and his disciples' spirit. They used their own moves and teamed up to hurt Najia real bad. Their combo knocked Najia down, but at the same time, Sanzang and his disciples were getting tired. They were almost out of energy. Sadly, their big move didn't paralyze Najia enough, so he got up and went straight for Aoshui. Poor Aoshui lost an arm and was bleeding a lot. Sanzang hurried over to help him. He told Zhu Bajie and Shou Wujing to distract Najia while he took care of Aoshui. Zhu Bajie and Shou Wujing fought Najia as best as they could, but they weren't a match for him. They got beat pretty easily. Once they were down, Najia turned his attention to Sanzang, who was busy trying to heal Aoshui. Sanzang actually had a super powerful move against dark magic, but it wouldn't work on Najia because he was already strong without going dark. Najia couldn't stop bragging in front of Sanzang, saying he was the best and even stronger than gods. At that moment, Zhu Bajie and Shou Wujing got up and teamed up with Sanzang to attack Najia together. They really wanted to beat him, but sadly, the three of them ended up getting beaten by Najia. They just didn't have enough strength to beat the legendary dragon. Aoshui could only watch because he was too weak to help. He closed his eyes thinking they were done for. But then something weird happened. Aoshui suddenly woke up in his mind and met Yuzhan. Yuzhan told him there was still a chance to win and save everyone. So Aoshui got up with Yuzhan's encouragement and held on to his promise to help. The scene changed and showed Sanzang and his disciples still fighting Najia really hard. With his friend's support, Aoshui pushed through the pain and used his most powerful move to blast Najia. He hoped it would work, but using that move was risky because it could hurt him too. He said his goodbyes to Sanzang and turned into a golden dragon, with Yuzhang's dragon form by his side for the big fight. Their attacks trapped Najia, but Aoshui didn't have a way to finish him off, so he did something crazy. He and Najia fell into a deep pit. Then Sanzang jumped in after them to save Aoshui. He didn't want to lose another disciple. Soon Zhu Bajie and Shou Wujing joined too because they didn't want Sanzang to face everything alone. Bai Long wanted to catch up with the others, but he knew he had to protect the sacred lotus, so he stuck with Xiao Yu and fought off the demons that kept showing up. The scene then switched and showed the situation in the Heavenly Kingdom after Sun Wukong, surprisingly came back to the fight. He explained that his arrest was part of Sha Xin's plan to figure things out and show everyone the Jade Emperor was going bad. Before he even went to the floating island prison, soon Wukong had met Sha Xin and gave him the Jade Emperor's magic sword, like Rulai told him to. Sha Xin found out what was really going on and tried to uncover the truth. The plan didn't go perfectly, but the Dark Emperor was pretty sure he and his men would win. The darkness had taken over the whole heavenly kingdom and just needed one more step to make it all dark forever. Soon Wukong told Sha Xin he helped the gods fight the Dark Emperor's men for Sanzang, their friends, Rulai, and all the innocent people hurt by the dark stuff. He said he'd go back with Sanzang and the gang on their journey to the west to put the sacred lotus back where it belonged. Right before he got into the big battle, Soon Wukong asked Sha Xin about Su Yi. He couldn't find her anywhere, even though he looked all over the heavenly kingdom. Sha Xin was kind of surprised that Rulai hadn't told Soon Wukong that Su Yi had passed away. He explained that Su Yi died while Soon Wukong was on his way to get the sacred lotus. But Sha Xin didn't know much more than that, so he told Soon Wukong to ask Rulai. Soon Wukong was really shocked to find out Su Yi was gone. He was so upset that he pulled out a scroll and used a little golden Buddha statue to learn more about Su Yi's death. The statue talked to Soon Wukong and told him that the Jade Emperor announced Su Yi's death right after hearing that Sanzang and his disciples finished their mission and were heading to the heavenly kingdom. The statue said that Rulai kept this from Soon Wukong, so he wouldn't go crazy and mess up things on Earth. Rulai wanted Soon Wukong to find out when he got to the heavenly kingdom, so he could get mad at the Jade Emperor and the darkness souls that might have caused Su Yi's death. Rulai thought the Jade Emperor might have killed her. While Soon Wukong was sad about Su Yi, Sha Xin jumped into the battle against the Dark Emperor's army. Xu Chen got into a fight with Kuang Xing, who used to be his student but turned bad and joined the Dark Emperor. Xu Chen was having a hard time because he was hurt badly by the Dark Emperor before. Meanwhile, Soon Wukong wanted to get revenge for Su Yi's death. He charged through the Dark Emperor's crew to face the former Jade Emperor, who was totally evil now. Soon Wukong asked about Su Yi, and the Dark Emperor admitted he killed her. He said she was in the way of his plan, so he had to kill her and use her blood. Soon Wukong got super mad and attacked the Dark Emperor, but Bishamonten suddenly showed up and blocked the hit. Bishamonten hit back, sending Soon Wukong flying. Bishamonten said anyone who wanted to fight the Dark Emperor had to go through him first. Soon Wukong had to fight Bishamonten, who was one of the strongest gods around. Soon Wukong didn't waste time. He turned into a big ape demon and started fighting Bishamonten. This fight was tough because Bishamonten had a move that could control Soon Wukong with seals. While they fought, Soon Wukong remembered Rulai's lessons on staying calm. He controlled his anger and broke all the seals, going back to his regular form to attack Bishamonten. Soon Wukong thought he beat Bishamonten, but then the gods surprised everyone by surviving and getting ready for another fight. Bishamonten made a barrier that stopped movement and weakened anyone inside. Soon Wukong got stuck in the barrier and couldn't predict Bishamonten's big hit. It sent him flying into a rooftop. Looking around, Soon Wukong saw things in the heavenly kingdom were a mess. The soldiers were losing against the Dark Emperor's gang, and the gods were struggling too. Xu Chen got hurt by Kuang Xing, and Guan Mutian fought on even after losing an arm. Soon Wukong sighed. It seemed like the heavenly kingdom was falling apart. Bishamonten didn't let up. He attacked Soon Wukong again. Soon Wukong was almost out of energy and had trouble fighting back until Bishamonten finally trapped him. Bishamonten got ready to end things by striking Soon Wukong. But out of nowhere, a golden arrow flew in and hit Bishamonten, saving Soon Wukong. Lots of those arrows hit the Dark Emperor's army too. Soon Wukong and the gang saw was Erlong and his troops showing up to help. Turns out, Erlong and his crew getting captured was all part of Sha Xin's plan. They had talked secretly before Erlong gave in to the Dark Emperor. Sha Xin was just following the Dark Emperor's orders to catch Erlong, but they had a plan to fight back against him and the darkness. The Dark Emperor admitted he messed up for not seeing through Sha Xin's clever plan. He was still sure they'd win, even though Erlong and his army joined the fight. The battle started again with the Dark Emperor telling his army to attack the gods' troops. Erlong, the top warrior, told his troop to fight hard and protect the heavenly kingdom. In the middle of the fight, Erlong faced a guy from the Dark Emperor's side called Dao Xing. They knew each other from a long time ago when they fought against the Ashura clan. Sadly, Gao Xing got really hurt and died. He told Erlong he was sorry for not being strong enough. Dao Xing's spirit, filled with anger and dissatisfaction after dying, managed to break free from the underworld and become a darkness soul. He came back to the surface with a grudge. In his fight against Erlong, Dao Xing was dead set on beating him and taking his place as the top warrior of the Heavenly Kingdom. Erlong's arrival with his army boosted Sun Wukong's fighting spirit to take down the Dark Emperor. But then Sun Wukong got a feeling something bad was happening to Sanzang and the others. He asked Sha Xin if it was time to use the Jade Emperor's magic sword he got from the Ashura Kingdom. Sha Xin said yes, and he gave the sword to Sun Wukong. Sha Xin told Sun Wukong to put the sword on the highest peak of the Heavenly Palace to fix things and stop the mess. Sun Wukong rushed to the highest tower in the palace. The Dark Emperor's army tried to stop him and Sha Xin. Gang Xing wanted to attack Sun Wukong, but Sha Xin fought him off. They had a big one-on-one fight. Gang Xing used his special move that could supposedly kill gods, feeling pretty sure he could beat Sha Xin. He was even bragging after he trapped Sha Xin with that move and took down one of the top gods. But then Gang Xing realized he was wrong when a pink light showed his move wasn't working, and Sha Xin counterattacked. Meanwhile, Dao Xing, who thought he beat Erlong, was getting ready to attack Sun Wukong, while Sun Wukong was busy fighting the Dark Emperor's army. Surprisingly, Erlong managed to get back up and keep fighting Dao Xing. After beating their enemies, Erlong and Sha Xin joined Sun Wukong to fight the Dark Emperor's army. Shuntian and the other gods and warriors pitched in too. With all their help, Sun Wukong finally got to the top of the palace tower and stuck in the magic sword. The bright gold light spread out and covered the darkness in the Heavenly Kingdom. The light even reached Earth Cracksland, where it got rid of demons that were going to attack Bai Long and Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu was super tired and fell down, telling Bai Long to never give up and keep fighting. Meanwhile, the sword Sun Wukong stuck in changed into the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor told them he would bring balance between darkness and light in the world. The Jade Emperor thanked the gods and soldiers for fighting hard to keep the Heavenly Kingdom good and not let darkness take over. He gave a special thanks to Rulai and Sun Wukong for playing the most important parts in fixing the mess in the Heavenly Kingdom. While the Jade Emperor talked, a warm gold light came from him, making the gods feel better and heal their hurts. The big fight was getting ready to happen. Seeing his plan didn't work, the Dark Emperor told his army to get out of there, and they ran to the third palace. Sun Wukong tried to chase them, but Bishamanten, who somehow survived a tough hit from Erlong, stopped him. Even though they fought hard, Sun Wukong managed to beat Bishamanten. He figured out the Dark Emperor and his army got away. The Dark Emperor's gang reached the third palace, where it was super dark and scary. Even though the Dark Emperor didn't want to ask for help from the Darkness Soul's ancestors yet, they had to. They had no other choice to be the Heavenly Kingdom, now that they had their strong leader back. The story teaches us to never give up, no matter how tough things get. Keep doing good even when things are bad, because good will always win against bad, just like light beats darkness.